Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a great day so far. How was mine? Pretty good actually. Got a lot of work done on my projects and now I'm ready to get a lot of work done on Tactical Lizard Tamer, so let's get right to it. Alright, so we're gonna continue working on Egg Dino some more today. Probably finish these two and maybe get to the shader, I hope so. So I've been researching back and forth about whether I want to animate Egg Dino in Blender or Unity, and they both have pretty good tool sets, so it's kind of just however you want to, but I'm gonna go with Unity because I mean, if we animate in Unity Engine, we'll be able to take advantage of all of Unity's features, such as calling scripts and other things that probably that'll be the main way that mods will interact with the system through the animations. So got that set up. So I'm just going to go here where it says animation and it's not import. So we'll still import the rig and the model, of course. Not sure. I don't think it needs to have read write because we're not going to change the model at all except through animating. So I'll go ahead and leave it just in case. Good. Okay, so I will get started. Yesterday I said I was going to be using the timeline, but that's actually a little more than we'll need just to animate the object. The timeline is more for synchronizing animations and other actions between multiple objects. So if we're just going to do one, don't really need it. Okay, so first of all, let's okay, so I have already an animator here. Let's excuse me, so far we've been working just using the model prefab. I'm actually going to get a little cleaner here. The Egg Dino, so we'll create just a separate object. And this is always a good idea when you're working with meshes because you don't really want to change this prefab because anything we change on it will just be overwritten when we change the model at all. So we'll just parent that to here. And now here we can add what we want. Okay, so it wants to keep the animator. I think I can remove it from here. I think it's just by default has it on it. Probably because I have a rig, so. Okay, so first of all we want to create a runtime animation controller, which is just how Unity plays different animations. And go up here. Create animator controller, and I'll just call this Egg Dino as well. Look, let's be a little bit more specific here. So an M controller. Okay, so this is all good. Now if we open this up using the animator window, it shows this state machine. Now don't get too I mean, it looks a little bit intimidating, but don't be too scared. Really all you do is just create a state here, and when the machine is in this specific state it will play whatever animation that we put in here. And this is useful because, say for example, this is idle. And then I'll just create something really easy. Then, I don't know, we'll have move. And so here we can create parameters. So this will just be a trigger, which is basically just a boolean that turns itself off. This would be, I don't know, move. Make it lowercase actually. So now we can make a transition from idle to move, and when you click on the transition arrow, we'll want to add a condition that will, whenever move is true, will exit from idle into move, and it'll blend these animations based on these settings. So basically the fixed duration means that in 3/4 of a second, oh no, 1/4 of a second, it will blend between the idle and the move animation. Yeah, you really don't need to worry about most of these things unless it just looks weird. But we don't even have any animations yet, so let's get out of this back into the scene. Okay, so I'll click on this, and now we'll open up the animation window. Okay, let's put it down here. So it needs an animation clip. Create one. And I'll just put it in with the egg dino. I'll just call this idle. Okay, so here, I think I remember how this works. I've only really used it for pixel art, so this will be a bit more intensive, but basically you want to add a keyframe like this. So you add property, transform, you have position, and then you can see that X, Y, and Z, they remain the same. So you can add, actually an easier way to do this instead of doing this all yourself, let's remove that. You can click this little button to turn on the recording, so then whenever you change anything in Egg Dino, it will record that change. So let's just make a basic one that will rotate the head. Actually, to move, he would probably, I don't know, like go up on his feet a bit. So this a little bit. Oh, except yeah, right now I'm at time 0, so I actually want let's just move ahead. Okay, there we go. Now I move up a bit, and now if we play it, you can see it animates between those. If we move back here, let's rotate both of the feet down so it looks like he's moving a bit with the leg. Something like that. Obviously, I'll need to ping pong back between those two. Also a bit too fast. A little hard to tell without him standing on something how it will look, but it's also probably exaggerated a bit, but it's fine for now. So he's going to need to, so it has the idle there, it already created that for us. Alright, so now if we wanted to ping pong, I forget if there's an easy way. I think I can copy this and put it to here and paste. So now if we go back into the game, press C. Okay, so yeah, that's really simple. It's not the prettiest, but we go into the game, it might start to play automatically. Yeah, so now it's animating in the game. And we can see, yeah, he's clipping, his nails are clipping into the ground a bit, so... But it's a good start, anyway. Probably, to make this easier, let's create just an empty plane that he can stand on top of. Alright, and so now if we click back on Egg Dino, we press play. Now we can see what we need to do to try and get him not to clip through. Whatever else we want to do to make it look a little better. Probably, let's move here, move forward a bit. Also, I think it is a bit too exaggerated. Let's move 8. Like that. Now let's... Okay, I'm not sure. Now it's actually like... Let's start. Okay, no, I think it was just an illusion. I thought that he started clipped into the wall. Oh, he does it actually a little bit. But yeah, for some reason this got translation. Did it not save what I did? Oh, I think I didn't have recording on. That must have been the issue. Okay, so yeah, I want to move this down a bit and this forward. And the foot. I want this to not be quite as rotated so that it doesn't clip into the ground. Okay, and so now I need to move these positions back, or copy these over here. Okay, so yeah, it's a little too exaggerated still. Okay, it's getting there. Now let's rotate the whole egg back just slightly. Oh, I should do it here. Also, now I need to adjust the feet probably. And let's rotate the head up a bit. I guess the lower jaw down so it can maybe seem like he's breathing just slightly. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, yeah, so I need to copy and paste all that stuff. I know like there's some way you can ping pong, but I'm not sure if I can do it from this screen or not. That's not what I want to happen. Seems like it's rotating. What is going on here? One of the, I think the base rotation is being a bit weird. Okay, so let's watch these numbers and see. Okay, so it's going from -180 to 0 for some reason. So if I just set this to 0 and that to 0. I'm afraid I've messed something up. So yeah, I want to not defeat all these. Right. I'm not sure why it's starting to rotate around like that. Okay, this. And see what it looks like now. Okay, so now it's better, but I do want this egg to rotate up a bit. Let's stop it right here. And I'm gonna be careful only to move the green slightly up. Yeah, that's not working too well. Oh, that's because I didn't copy and paste. Okay, how's that? Now why does it work until I copy and paste? Kind of frustrating, huh? I don't know. The angle's flipping around. Don't really know why. Maybe if I just set the rotation here, I'll leave it, it's at 180 and I want to rotate around the x-axis, so I just give it something very slight. That seems fine, and now instead of copy and pasting, I'll just go here and enter in a 0. So something about some reason it doesn't like you copy and pasting the rotation. I don't really know why, but we'll work with it. And so here I think that's too extreme. That looks better. Pretty good. I'm trying to see. There's a little weirdness here. I'm not really, not that obvious, so. Is the lower jaw even moving? A little bit. Yeah, I think that's a good detail. Alright, so I guess we gotta do the tail. This is what I've not really been looking forward to. because I think it's going to be kind of difficult to get it to look right. Let's not. So since idle is kind of a short loop, it'd be nice if I could have like a separate layer for the tail actually. I've never really worked with animation layers, so this will actually be a good practice. Okay, so let's stop this. Got one animation down. So if we go back to the animator, layers are basically separate state machines that can run on top of each other. So we have this first layer, which is the base, and let's add tail layer. And I think we can run two separate animations on here, one for the tail and one for the base, and that way the tail can kind of animate separately from the base. They'll still have all the same things, but I'll just idle. And so we want another animation. Flip. So I'll just call this tail idle. Set it here, I guess. Right, so now I'm back in the game. Let's try to see if we can figure this out. So, definitely don't want the start to look like that. Before I go any further, let's see if there's an easy way to make a Unity animation ping pong, which is kind of what we did for the base animation, but it'd be nice if we could somehow just stop the animation here and then it would start running backwards. I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, the wrap mode, tail idle. So we want it to loop, but it doesn't have wrap mode right there. Is it in the animator? Back up. We don't need this. Speed. Noise time, that's new. And the animator itself, no. Okay, so animator state, wrap mode. Wrapping mode for animation. Okay, so we have to actually do this. In the, like, we can't do it from the parameters, we have to do it in scripting. Kind of annoying. Is that really how it works? This is how time is treated outside the keyframed range in an animation clip. Oh, yeah, this is not the same thing actually. Yeah, see, the confusing thing is Unity still has a lot of, like, they completely rewrote its animation system a year or two ago, so it still has the old one in here. So when you look through the scripting manual, it's sometimes difficult to tell if what it's talking about is the new system or the old system. So I guess I'll have to deal with it for now. If it, yeah, seems like if there's no way that you can set it here, then I would think that not supported. It's a little annoying, but deal with it. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going for now. I mean, it's not that difficult. We just have to copy and paste. Hopefully, we won't get any more of those weird rotating errors. Right. So onto the tail. I guess I'll look from the back. And we'll want on the tail idle and turn on recording. Okay, so how do I want it? I guess I'll just pick an orientation that I don't want it to start on. I think from this angle, I'll just have it kind of rotate this way. And then from here, let's add some rotations. Very thrilling stuff, I know. Okay, so yeah, there's one frame of it. Not sure how fast I want it to go. I don't want it to be like completely in line with the idle animation, so I'll do it at 15 partial seconds. Okay, so here we want to be another keyframe. Okay, so let's start from the back. Kind of in the middle. I'll have it like rotate around in a circle and we'll do a keyframe at each point. Like that. Maybe I'll leave it curved a bit more. Because, yeah, obviously the top rails behind the bottom. Bottom is moving that way, but the top, since the tail is not completely stiff, will be falling a bit behind it. And so, do I want to rotate it much this direction? Give it a bit of movement here. Well, it doesn't look that good right now, but it's gonna be hard to tell until we're done. Maybe a better way to do this would be if I actually did both sides and then did a middle. I think I might do that. So delete that keyframe. I'll just move up to 30, I guess. And the other side, the wrong thing. So the tail will go like that. This is when the tail reaches a complete other side of the momentum, so it'd be all the way rotated over. So I feel like that's, oh no, they're about the same. I was gonna say, I feel like this side, I made it more exaggerated. I did, I think, just a little bit. That seems more even. So I'll vary the rotations on the x-axis as well. Actually, well, it should be slightly different, but it should still be kind of wrong. And plane. Okay, so let's see how it animates this. Actually, it doesn't look horrible. So let's Control C. Oh no, I gotta select all of them. And we'll move it over to the minute mark. Now if I play, we'll have something that actually looks pretty good, I'm surprised. Okay, I thought I'd have to have in between frames, but maybe not. Okay, I think I will add just a little something. I still don't record, but I want that off. Here in the middle, we'll just have this part rotate back a little bit so it doesn't stay on the same axis. Might be a little bit too much, but we'll see. That is too much, but let's go with it for now. And this would be at 45. Play. Not too bad, actually. See how does it look here? Do I have any bad clipping? Okay, one thing I think would look better is if it kind of ramped in and out instead of like keeping a constant like movement speed. So it like went fast in the middle and then slowed down at the end. I think I can edit that with the curves. I'm not sure if there's an easy way I could do all of them at once. Because yeah, they're all but that'd be a bit difficult. This one. Okay, yeah, so that's not going to be very helpful. Let's see if easy way to Edit, Unity, animation, thing. So let's talk about timeline here. Not what I want, but yeah, so this is a timeline, which is nice, but I guess they just want you to see if this might be what I want. Oh no, there you animating in Maya, so no. Yeah, so we can use the animation curve, but problem is we have so many values in there that's going to be kind of difficult. Actually, yeah, we just need to create more keyframes, I think. Let's try that. So, yeah, turn off play, and if I move back to the dope sheet, so right here, let's take something like at this point. So, and then I can take these and move it there, maybe? Alright, let's see how that looks. Not do what I thought it would. So, I want to take these keyframes and move it. Oh, that's kind of the opposite of what I want to do actually, isn't it? I actually want to move this over here or something. But it's not. Oh no, it is updating. Let's see how that looks. Alright, that's actually the right effect, I think. Let's take one tick in and do that and move it here or something. The same thing there. Here. And on this one. Okay, so let's see how that looks. No, that's not what I wanted. So where's the issue? Did I copy the wrong thing? That and move it there. Okay, some of these I guess I copied on the wrong side or something. Yeah, that's more what I wanted. See how it lingers on the edges a bit more. Alright, so I think we're done with that. Why did the position change? No, I don't think so. Okay, so let's look at the animator and move to the tail. So if I play both in the game, should blend those two together. No, it's not playing the tail. says it's playing, but it's not, obviously. Interesting. Wait. Maybe that's why, because this weight is at 0. Okay, yeah, so they can both be at 1. And this should be additive. Okay, so I forgot to add that. Okay, let's try it now. Okay. Something. So in the idle, it doesn't affect, and nothing here affects the tail, so I don't know. Can if I click on the egg dino, will it show me where it is in the animation? No. It shows it's playing here, but I was hoping that it would also play here, but it doesn't do that. Maybe if I change this to additive as well. Oh no. Not exactly. Oh, we don't want it to synchronize. Okay, so this is getting worse. Okay, I know there's a way to do this. Yeah, there's not gonna be anything in here. Oh, my messaging warnings. I really need to clean this up sometime. Okay, so let's see. At least one thing is working right, that the tail is not in sync with the body's idle animation, because like the body is bumping up and down multiple times during one tail frame. The tail is not animating correctly for some reason. So in the editor, it's good. And the idle animation doesn't affect the tail. Something there will help. Okay, let's maybe just look up Unity animation layer. Maybe this will give us some tips. Layer can specify the mask, which is a part of the animated model on which the animation should be applied. The blending type. Mask property, so maybe that's what we need to do. For example, if you want to play a throwing animation on just the upper body, yeah, you would put the mask on which plays the throwing animation. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how to create a mask. One structure possible to map animations from a humanoid to another, allow retargeting. For exceptions, humanoid models can be expected to have the same basic structure. Mapping is called the avatar. Okay, so maybe that's what I need to do. Create an avatar. Yeah, avatar masks. This would just be tail. Maybe we actually need something that's like the body but not the tail. We don't have a humanoid, but we can skeleton from the egg dino. Oh. Okay, so this would be, let's just call this the body. Or egg dino body. And we'll just take off everything except for the tail. And then if I put this into the animator, see how that works. I might need to make an a tail mask. We'll try that out. Okay, yeah, I guess so. Duplicate this, and this will be the egg dino tail. And we'll turn off everything except for the tail. Oh, okay, so I don't need to do that. And then animator, I guess we'll change this to be egg dino tail, and it will be override now. There we go. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, so now we've got an idle animation. And okay, so let's just make a dummy animation for our movement, and then we'll actually scripting. It'll be the first time we've done scripting in a while to actually try and get this egg dino to move around on the map. Right, so what am I trying to do? Oh yeah, I want to add this prefab to the egg dino. Let's call it egg dino prefab. And we'll get that off, and I'll leave the plane here for now. I guess before I do that, I should create the dummy animation. We'll create a new, and this will just be, let's call it move, I guess. Or jump, actually. And yeah, I'll do nothing. Yeah, because we'll go and okay, I'll just do one thing just to say I did. I'll move the legs down just to kind of do the stretching. Oh wait, what's going on there? Yeah, I didn't know why the egg was being affected. Okay, the right leg for some reason affects the egg. Okay, so we need to go fix that in Unity. Or Blender, I should say. Okay, so that was actually... Yeah, I gotta get used to the different controls again. So it was this leg, yeah, which is the right one. That. Okay, so difficult to actually get into the correct mode for this. I think you click on the bone and then the model, or maybe the other way around. So I have the model and shift right click the bone, and now if I control tab, no. Got the bone, shift right click the model. Okay, there we go. So I actually want this bone. Doesn't affect the egg at all, so I don't know. Guess that one didn't. Fine. The colors are being a bit weird here. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's because I have textured mode on. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's definitely not affecting the egg, so why is it in Unity? Okay, so let's re-import the model. And all I have to do is just add the controller back. And apply this to the prefab. Now let's just press play and make sure nothing broke when I did that. No, it still looks fine, thankfully. So how come when I move the leg, it moves the shell? Well, you know what? Let's go back to the console. I got it was complaining that there was 0 weights. Okay, I did see this. I think it's because the egg has no. That should get 0. Or undo until, yeah, there we go. The egg has no weight on it right now, so I think Unity might just be applying it to a random bone for some reason. Doesn't like that it doesn't. Yeah, is this still the right material? Yeah. Wait, it says the root bone is the tail? Why? I don't know what the deal with that was. Can I change this to see the animation weights in Unity? Don't think it will let me do that. No. Alright, well then. I guess in Blender, let's just set all the eggs to this base. Which, not really needed, but if it's going to complain. So I think right now I have this set to not deform, but I guess I'll turn that back on. And let's go back. Oh, I need to, okay, there we go. So click on the base. Why did it do that? Let's move. Not liking me to do that. Okay, well I guess we can create just a dummy bone. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll need to do. So let's go to edit mode. And was it A to add a bone? Or shift A? Okay, so we'll rotate. Alright, roll, so I want to get it straight. Sideways. There we go. Pick the whole thing. Wait, it's not actually rotated correctly. So rotate. Let's just start over. Bone, so shift add. There we go. Doesn't really matter where it is, this has got to be... I guess it would make more sense actually if it was standing up. That middle. Okay, I'll turn on snapping. Not gonna snap to the middle. There we go. Okay, so I'll turn that off and I'll just have it go from the base. Well, no, I guess the star should kind of be in the center of the egg, actually. Not that it really matters. Okay, now where is this bone? Okay, right here. So, call this the egg. Parent is the base. Okay, so now if we move to pose mode, egg, I think it's working. Okay, I have it on subtract, so I want to add. Gotta paint all this egg vertices. Increase the strength. Okay, do I have it on see-through? I guess. Kind of boring. We just. I didn't think that this would be an issue, but I guess that's just the way Unity handles it. Before I get too far, I guess I should save this and see what Unity does with it. Yeah, we should update these. Yeah, first I'll need to delete that. Add back into it. Wait, that's not. Yeah, I was gonna say I wish I could just set it in there so it by default, but I don't think it will. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to update these masks. Click the avatar, import, and again I just turn off the tail, and now the egg is in there. The tail is nothing except the tail. Alright, so let's just press play and make sure everything still works. It looks good. And if I move the legs, it's not going to affect the shell, hopefully. Okay, yeah, so that was the problem, because it's only affecting the vertices that I haven't painted yet. I'm glad I saw that error earlier, otherwise I would have had no idea what was going on. Okay, so let's just finish painting. I could probably get some of the legs, but yeah, I thought that this egg dino would be kind of simple, but some of the stuff we've had to deal with has actually turned out to be complex, but at least now we know about it. Try and finish up leg area before I move on. I think if I miss any of these vertices, then Unity will complain to me. Might be easier to do it on see-through. I don't know. Let's model back on. I've got wireframes. Just scrub around this edge. Hopefully I'll get everything. And I'll do the same over here. Kind of funny that Blender doesn't seem to care if vertices don't have any bones attached to them, but Unity does. Guess that's just how it is. Okay, so I think that's all good. Okay, I'll turn off see-through. I guess I'll clean up a little bit here while I'm down at the feet. Turn it back on actually. That was really the only part that I actually touched. Oh, down here as well. I guess if it did affect other vertices, not that big of a deal because I'm never going to actually use this bone. But I think it'd be cleaner if I do it correctly and none of the other vertices are affected, so try to keep it that way. Now we can just it'll be hard to not get anything around the nose, so I'm not really going to worry about it right now. Little bit right there I missed. So yeah, this is good to know for next time. Be sure not to have an area that's not accounted for by any bones. Okay, so to get down there, I'm going to need to turn back on see-through, I think. I need to be very careful that I don't accidentally hit any of the feet. Alright, so I think I got everything there, and if I turn tracked, I'll just grab around the base of the tail. I wonder if there's another way you can do this besides painting, because it'd be kind of nice just with, in my case, if I could just select all these vertices and say set weight to 0. As far as I know, there's not a way to do that, but I think I'm missing anything there, so I just need to check inside. Oh, and I can move some of these bones out. I did that before. I'll turn off through. I have it on subtract, so I guess I can. I have it on like strings of 10, but it's still not subtracting the whole thing. Some of those don't like me to just drag on top, so I need to double click. Those vertices are actually some other issue, not have anything to do with this. But I think they actually aren't affected by the mouth bones, so I might need to go and fix that if I really want to. Okay, so yeah, if I turn this add, I could just... There we go. Back to the egg. Grab around all these vertices. I guess I'll turn off see-through now. I don't want to accidentally get tail in this. In fact, I should make sure I didn't already. Looks okay. And I think that's it. Okay, so now I'll click this and press Alt G to go back to its original position. And I think we're good. Model has one vertex with no weight and bone assigned. They'll be assigned to bone 0. I wonder where that is. I guess what I can do is move this upward. Okay, and there we go. We see the one that's missing. Should have done that first. Okay, I need to remember that you can move these meshes apart. It works fine. Okay, so now it should. And yeah, that warning goes away, thankfully. But I need to delete this and then just drag it back up and attach the animator again. Good to go, and I'll just press play, make sure nothing broke. It looks good. Alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, for the jump animation I just wanted to make the feet move down a bit. And now that works. let's go back into the animation. Click on the Dino and move jump. And we'll just record, and I'll just move these two down a little bit. It's not gonna look that good, but done. Go into the animator. Okay. Don't need that actually. Okay. So now another thing we need to do is add this to the test content asset bundle. Apply first. But before I rebuild the asset bundle, I'll make sure everything is working. So, okay, so what we need to do is finally get rid of those capsules. So this timeline object don't actually need it. Jump. Some of this stuff got a little what's the word? Unorganized. So let's move back. All right. Okay, so we can finally get rid of those gold and silver capsules. So I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, we don't need any of these anymore. So I can put them in no asset bundle. I guess I'll leave them for now, but one other thing I need to do, I need to give a collider to these, don't I? Yeah, and here we just use a capsule collider, but for egg dino, we could just use a mesh collider. That seems like it'd be a bit overkill, but let's pull this out. Let's move the collider. We could probably just use a sphere collider or something. There. Why it didn't start centered? I don't want it to be in the middle, but then we'll scale it. Okay, so the sphere collider has to be a sphere. I guess that makes sense. You can't actually make it an egg shaped. So I guess we will use a capsule collider after all. And again, we could really just use mesh collider, but doesn't really need it, I don't think. Okay, so that's fine. I think that's about all I had to do, right? Yeah, so it just looks for a collider, and I think in the game it will set the tags and stuff. Okay, so now apply that. Alright, so in our mods, got the test content. Okay, so we have these data files, but the prototype gold and silver, which I guess we can delete them. Or maybe we'll just keep the silver monster for now. Yeah, let's not. I'm tired of having them. Okay, so we'll want to have a new file, and I'll just name this egg dino. Well, and I'll just copy this over. Alright, so the model will go in test content, egg dino. Is that what I named it? Okay, so it's egg dino prefab. I guess just for the sake of simplicity, we'll just call it egg dino. Even though it's kind of, I guess, uppercase egg dino will be the prefab, lowercase is the model. Alright, so that looks fine for now. So it has these abilities. We'll just have move on egg dino. What else do I need to do? Oh yeah, I've got to add this to the test content. I don't know why the indentation got messed up. There we go. And okay, so now it's ready to load everything. So, alright, and then where we create the beginning state, I think that's in the team building. Yeah, the defaults creator, which right now we just set stuff up. Let's just create 2 egg dinos. Always uppercase. And that should take care of that. Also, yeah, I still have the name as gold, so that's not good. Alright, so I think now if I press play. Oh, my voice gave out. I'll have to, like, it'll just give me an error saying that it can't load the test dino. I guess we can go ahead and test that out. Oh yeah, I got console. Insertion failed. Canceling. What? Oh yeah, that happened before. If the, for some reason, if the asset bundle has an issue, it gets this weird error, but it's not actually, like, I can't actually catch it because it doesn't have anything to do with Unity. Like the game, it's more of the editor as far as I can tell. But anyway, yeah, here's the error. Egg dino is not contained. So I guess we'll need to fix this if it happens in the final game, but it seems like it's just an editor issue. So if I just go to assets and build asset bundles, this will take a little bit. Not going. Output path. Asset bundles does not exist. Oh, I must have deleted the folder or something. Okay, let's clear this. Alright, and try one more time. Gonna do a bit of work. And basically what this is doing is just meshing together all this prefab and mesh data and everything that it needs to fix this sometime, don't I? Okay, we knew about the prefab craters, but this terrain mesh I should probably go fix soon. But anyway, yeah, it's just mushing all that together into this asset bundle file. And if we look in the manifest, you can see it has checkerboard stuff for the terrain and then the egg dino prefab. So I need to move these two files. This one we don't need because I'm not even sure really what the issue or what this does. I think it might be for if you have if you're building assets for multiple what am I trying to say? What that is? For multiple different platforms. Sorry. But we're not right now, so maybe that's why it's empty. Regardless, we don't need to include it in the mod. Now we copied over the asset bundle. So if we load Unity back up, I don't want to go fix these right now. Or I press play and they go away, so I guess, do I not need these? And then block prefab creator, yeah, this whole object is just obsolete. Yeah, we can delete it now because we have the new, better terrain. And vision mesh generator. Oh yeah, we don't need to store that. I guess because we just use, we only access the mesh right here. And same with this. Okay, so now I feel better about that. Let's let Unity finish. I guess it is finished compiling. And now if we press play, hopefully the two egg dinos will load up into the game and they'll start animating. Yes. And automatically. Now there's two of them. Pretty good. I keep going back and forth about whether I want an orthographic camera or not. I know it's kind of has nothing to do with what we're working on, but just seeing these two and like looks a bit weird like that because they're like the same size. But maybe when we actually get this looking like miniatures, that it'll all come together. Perspective does look good too, but I don't know. But anyway, so now we have the two egg dinos on the screen, and my mouse pick, yeah, so it does show that I have the monster, but oh, it's because I have the UI canvas turned off. Turn that back on, and hopefully it's been a while since we've actually looked at this code, so I'm not sure if something's broken. So I want to click on this monster, okay. I should get it to move there. Alright, now the other player has to go. Okay, good, everything still does work. And now we see that they did move. Obviously, still no animations yet. Also, another problem is that they're just facing one way. And it looks weird that there's no shadows right there. Why is there no shadow? That's the reason I turned off the UI canvas. I don't even know why they really display it. Kind of clips into the ground, but I don't think it'll be that noticeable. Maybe, does the terrain, is it not set to receive shadows? Maybe that's why. Oh no, it does. Oh, it's right there. For some reason the shadow is not at their feet. Oh yeah, I moved this far away so that we could see better. Oh, I just did the rotation. Actually, I wanted to move the position. Maybe it's because it's at such a shallow angle, I think. It needs to be more like that. Okay, there we go. That looks a little better. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this so that when we exit the game, I can paste it. And I'll have that same values. Alright, so one thing I want to do obviously is we got to figure out the order of animation because the egg dino, like, they always face the same way for one. And obviously we don't want to just snap the rotation or have it like just like smoothly glide because they'll need to, because some of the monsters, well, I guess Egg Dino would need to do a little shuffle to turn around. I guess that's one thing. He'd need to turn around to look the way he's going to jump and then do a jump animation to wherever he's going. We could, like right here it's short, so we could just have him have a special walk animation. I guess that would be for the mods to decide how it works. That'd be nice if he just walks, if they're on the same level and they're close together, he could just walk over, otherwise he'd jump. Let's try and do that. And then we'll need to have, so he'll face and then either walk and jump. So if we want him to face a certain way, I guess we need to have some way to remember the way a character is facing. Because right now I don't think the game has any concept of a facing direction. Let's look. That the and the data. Yeah, so we just have the prototype and the position, but no facing. How do we want to store facing? Let's see. X position has a corner and a neighbor. I guess the facing would basically be the same as the neighbor. So yeah, we can just use that, I think. Public X neighbor facing. So let's. Here we can set the facing and just have them like face inwards. Oh, it's a save monster. Is it different? Yeah, so it's been a while since we've messed with this code, just as a reminder. Oh, close. The difference between the monster class and the save monster is that the save monster is actually saved onto the game file, and whereas the monster is like the current status of the monster. And the reason they need to be separate is because we can't save these list variables, for instance. So we have to change them to arrays. But I think that I can still save this information. Might be better just to save it as an integer though. So, or even a string. I don't know, that seems a little silly. So for the facing would just be hex position, neighbor. So I'm not sure which way I want to go. Let's just say north. And then the other one will face southwest. Hopefully they'll face each other. Thought I copied this. Southwest, and still creating the... So here it's changing from the save monster to the monster. So it'll be easy. And now if I load up Unity, let's just check to make sure that those values are actually created. By looking into debug, what data we want, battle. So we have two monsters, okay, and facing northeast and southwest. Alright, so we got that all right. I guess, yeah, the thing that loads the monster prototypes to go ahead and rotate the monsters correctly. Right now it's this quaternion identity, so let's call get monster rotation. Down below. So that's the monster ID instead of just a generic I. So would it'd be nice if I had some nice way to convert between this integer to an angle. Which I guess we have right here. Click, static, float, get neighbor angle. And I guess I'll be nice and have the overload method to actually just pass an integer. Yeah, we'll just return this. Get our angle and I. All right. So should be able to do this pretty easily. Turnian. So I want to use Euler angles, which is basically the angles around the z-axis, x-axis, and y-axis. And we want to rotate around the y-axis, so this would be 0, 0, x position, get neighbor angle, and then we can just pass the monster dot facing. And this should, like I shouldn't have to change this angle at all, it should already be in the world space. But no, it did not do anything. Oh, maybe because it's in radians. SF radians 2 degrees. Kind of annoying because yeah, the sine and cosine functions return stuff in radians, but then Unity always uses degrees. Not really sure why Unity didn't make these mathf functions return degrees just to keep everything consistent, but they don't. Okay, that's not what I expected. So it is rotating, but goodness. Rotating about the Z. Okay, I think I misread it. Look here. Yeah, it's talking about. Yeah, it says, I was reading this where it says rotate Z, X, and Y, and thought that that's the order of the. Oh, I'm pointing with my finger, you can't actually see that. I was reading the white text there where it says returns a rotation that rotates Z around Z, and then X around X, and then Y around X. I thought that was the order of the arguments, but the arguments are actually in X, Y, Z. So it want to rotate around the Y-axis, so it's actually the second argument. Right, so let's try this one more time. Okay, so now it's working, but they're facing not the way I wanted. Yeah, so this is actually northeast, isn't it? Or northwest. So this should be positive 60, I would think. But I don't really want to mess up the math because it seems like the rest of the game, like here, this is northwest face, and it works fine. So, like for the terrain, or I said the wrong thing, northeast. Yeah, so I'm afraid to mess with the math. I guess I'll just negate this. It might have something to do with the way the quaternions are set up. so now it's working how I expected. They should be facing towards. I guess another. Oh no, because I said north, so they were facing upward. I guess I should make sure before I go any further. So, I guess I'll in the. Where's the map turn? Right there. So I'll set 0, 0 to be dirt. 0, 0, 2, I guess, because that's the surface. Oh no, 1 is the surface. Oh yeah, and these are also 1 base, so that is the first. And then, so X moves east and west, so if I just add 1 to X, that should be east. And then here, if I add 2, that should be northeast. So let's look and see what Unity does when I do that. Okay, so it looks the same. So yeah, east, northeast. Is that? I mean, this should actually be rotated a little more to face this tile. Yeah, let's look and see. Yeah, because it's facing almost halfway. Oh, you know what? I think it's because the monster model, like when it's set to 0, it's actually not facing what we would have as 0. I think 0 would be right here. So yeah, so it's not an issue with our coordinate system. It's actually just because the monster's model doesn't line up correctly. So I guess we should probably fix that. Maybe we should just have all models face that way. Yeah, forward on the X direction. I think that'd be easiest. Oh, hi Ed Roach. Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Okay, so yeah, let's bring up. Right, so 0. I guess I gotta figure out what the 0 direction is. And that's the default direction that a monster should face. Glad to hear it. Alright, so X position. Okay, I'm gonna have to do trig. So what we want to do is default for the default angle will be X is 1 and then the Z is 0. So sine of 0 is 0, correct? So and sine of pi over 2 is 1. I do trig this late at night. I'm gonna pick myself. Yeah, so sine of 0 is 0 like I thought. And sine pi is... Did I do that right? Oh, okay, so it's because it was in degrees. 0 as well. Oh yeah, so it's pi over 2 is positive 1. So, and in degrees, so I have this. Okay, so I need to get this to be 0, like I thought. Gotta work backwards. Really not that difficult, but like I said, it's pretty late at night for me, and okay, we can just, I was looking for a text editor, but we can just do it in here. So we have, what I want to do. So we want to set 60, our 0 equals 60 times I minus 60. Not difficult. So it's 60 equals 60 times I. Okay, so that is just I equals 1. That means I is, yeah, east, okay, is the default position. Let's leave a little comment so we'll remember that. Neighbor dot east gives angle equals 0. Okay, so now I just need to bring the egg dino model out. Oh, okay, it was compiling. And I just need to look that way, and what I have to do is I have to be facing back of the model right now, so I'll rotate this around the Y axis at 90, so that should be good. If I apply that, fortunately I think I'll have to rebuild the asset bundles, but before I do that, let's make sure that rotating this did not affect any of the animations. Okay, yeah, it still looks fine. It's a little funny with 2 of them right on top of each other. This one out, just so yeah, everything is good. So I did apply that. And now I can delete it, and we'll just rebuild the asset bundle so mods can load the new version. Did it give me an error? Oh no, it's still compiling. Alright, so while it's doing that, let's go ahead and copy this. Oh, I need to finalize the colors. I keep on forgetting to do that. I guess pretty much did the animations. We need to, well no, we need to do the animations through the code now. Have actions, play, animations, and we need a turn, a walk, and a jump. That's all we're going to worry about for now. Oh yeah, we got to do the shader. I thought we were going to do that at the beginning of the stream, but I kind of want to do some programming actually. I think it didn't like me exiting or leaving focus. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Oh, reload an asset that's not stored on disk. Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, the asset bundles seem to be a little buggy in this version of Unity. I don't know why. Is it working now? No. Let's see, when was this remade? At 9:13. Okay, so that was, yeah, a minute ago, so Hopefully this isn't corrupted or something, but I guess we'll find out when we load the game up. Okay, yeah, so now it is... Yeah, we can see that it shifted. So now I think we don't have to negate the rotation, maybe. Where was that? Because we want it to face northeast, which would be... so right now they face pure east, so we want them to shift northward just a little bit. Or I guess 60 degrees. Okay, that's perfect. It's supposed to point towards the northeast, I can't think of the word, hexagon. And this one is supposed to face southeast, and it looks like everything is working now. Okay, good. I didn't have to do any... I could just take this value exactly. I don't have to do any modifications to it. And, alright, so if we click move there, and then here I'll have it move... Find it, I guess. Right, there we go. So, we want them, obviously... So when it moves here, we want the Dino first to play like a turning animation and rotate this way. And then since it's only moving one block and it's on the same height, we'd want to do a walking animation. But for instance here, if we had it move up, okay, we can't even do that right now with how the move script is written. But if it was moving up an elevation, then we want to do a jump animation instead of a walk. So I've got to... First of all, the scripts need to be able to determine what type of animation to play, and then got to hook that into the animation controller, which is not that difficult to do, because you can set these parameters on and off through C#. Yeah, that would be hard. We've just got to figure out how I want to have scripts deal with animations. I think the best way, go to the ability scripts, and we just have the simple move. Right now it's getting targets, so here is where it actually creates the actions, which is just a move. So maybe we'd have an actions. First we'd check the facing, and if the facings are different, then we tell it to rotate. And then we could check if we wanted to do a jump or what. So how would we do that? We don't really need these debugs anymore. This script has been working for a long time. So if monster is facing differently, play shuffle, animation, and rotate. I guess the problem is they do animation. I guess first I need to send... So we can't just like tell it to play a specific animation, we have to actually set these flags in the animator. So we have floats, integers, bools, and trigger. And a trigger is just a boolean, except it automatically turns off. Probably we'll just do something like... have an action to trigger a certain animation, maybe. I guess this one would actually be a do. Let's just say set animation trigger, and we have the name. I guess let rotate. And then actions, set, animation, rotate. So what do I want to pass here? I basically want it to rotate towards a certain direction. I don't think I want to pass it an actual angle. I guess if okay, let's just do pass it a facing. I don't even have a representation of a facing yet in Lua because I just added that into the actual game. So args selection. How would I do this? I guess we'll need another helper function, which is like gives the facing to move from one direction to another. And probably the do move. Okay, so it sets the monster and position. I should also just have it set the facing here as well. Let's get that. Local new facing is okay, let's just call this facing towards. Go ahead and get the monster so I don't have to keep referencing it. Monster equals args selection monster. Now let's call this user actually. So it'd be the user dot position towards target. Target equals args selection memory position. Okay, so this function doesn't exist yet, but I'll have it return a new facing object that is like to have this position or to be in this position and then the face towards the target is what it will return. Okay, so rotate, we'll pass new facing. And we kind of want, we want this to match up with this animation trigger. So how would I... Well, instead of passing true, we'll figure out how I'll do this, but I'll just say sync animation. So somehow it will know to trigger our rotate at the same speed it would take for this animation to finish. I don't have to do semicolons in Unity. And then we want to do actions pause. So it would pause until this animation is done and then we do something else. Or maybe instead of sync I can just do until pause. That might be a little easier. And this should be for animation actually. Okay, so now we took care of that, and so if monster is being one tile, okay, well the move function always moves one tile, so maybe I'll just write this assuming it doesn't, and we can increase the range. Do move animation. Otherwise, jump. Also, in Lua, I just remembered comments are 2 hyphens instead of 2 slashes. Okay, so let's see. Guess we'll also need local start equal position. I could just go ahead and pass this up or store that up there. Okay, so now it's actions. Oh, we got a test. So if start let's do it this way. Start distance to target is equal to 1 and start dot layer equals target layer. We don't need the parentheses around the if either in Lua. And we'll do actions, set animation trigger, move, let's call it walk. And either way, we're gonna set a kind of movement, but actually do animation in this. Do animation move. Okay, so I guess we'll just give it. Okay, so all these actually need the monster to be passed. I just remembered. Well, actually, I'll just have a pause for animations, which will be for everything. Okay, and this will just, I guess we'll have the target and linear. Otherwise, I want to set jump. And I guess this will be an arc. And we want to set some height. And then both the times here we would type actions, pause for animations. Also, yeah, these both have to have an until pause. And I guess that's it. Then we do the move, which is what actually affects the game state. Could move that up here, it doesn't really make any difference. In fact, I think I will do that. Okay, so again, how this works is it's kind of like the linear sequence that all these actions will happen in is how whenever we call this. And we'll just have a action to set animation triggers and then do rotations and moves. Then this pause animation will cause the actions to wait until this is done before it moves on. I think this will work pretty well. Of course, we'll need to work on it or test it all because the only function here that's actually implemented right now is do move. But I don't think any of these will be too difficult to add. But I think this is a good place to stop. And yeah, we'll finish up with this tomorrow, I think. But thanks everybody for coming out and watching. I plan to go live tomorrow around 8:30 Eastern. If you want to be notified when I go live, feel free to follow me here on Twitch or also on Twitter. And if you missed any of this stream or any previous, you can catch up on my YouTube channel. Oh, no problem, Ed Roche. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And finally, I have a Discord channel that I'd love to have you if you'd want to chat with anybody, or me and any other viewers throughout the day. We'd love to have you there. Get links to any of those, just type !YouTube, Twitter, or Discord in chat, or check out my video description. And yeah, that's about it. Again, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.